Hola, mi gente. I'm Kenny Sandoval, the Vice President of Campaigns and Partnerships with Voto Latino. I want to acknowledge that we're coming together in the middle of a political earthquake with an activist court and a seemingly endless barrage of bad opinions. Last week's Dobbs opinion was an attack on the fundamental equality of women and others who need access to abortion care. The Supreme Court turned millions of Americans into second-class citizens with the stroke of a pen, and we have to reckon with what that means both in terms of access to health care and the fundamental equality before the law. Today, we're here to talk specifically about Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health, what it means and doesn't mean for women's access to abortion care today and moving forward as trigger laws across the country come into effect. I'm joined by Ziptaly Mendoza, the Director of Latino Partnership and Engagement for Planned Parenthood Action Fund. Ziptaly joined Planned Parenthood with nearly 15 years of experience in improving access to health services and eliminating health disparities through program management and policy development at federal, state, local, and territorial levels. Ziptaly has a strong background in health, equity, and reproductive health. As a Mexican woman who is incredibly proud of her indigenous roots, her passion for women's health is deeply rooted in who she is. Originally from my sister state, Arizona, she's bringing it with the Southwest Power today. Welcome, Ziptaly. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Kenny. Thanks for having me today. I'm really looking forward to having this discussion to be able to share with our folks, our gente, what they need to know in order to continue to advocate for abortion rights and making sure that they get the care that they need to in order to be, who they want to be as a healthy person and live their full bodily autonomy and be able to have the resources and information to make those decisions that are right for them and their families.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. I want to start this conversation by coloring in some of the gray area around the decision from last Friday. Can you outline for our audience what the overturning of Roe means for abortion access nationally?
Yes. Unfortunately, it means that the Supreme Court failed us. They eliminated the federal constitutional right to abortion, the right that we've held for nearly 50 years. So this essentially means that the Supreme Court took away our rights to abortion. The court has failed us. They have gone against the will of the people. 80% of Americans believe that abortion should be legal. And from the most recent research that you all even conducted, Voto Latino, found that nearly 70% of Latinos support abortion rights, which is in par with the research that we find as well. So we have pretty similar results that we see that Latinas in particular, have a strong support for abortion rights. And so, this really tells us that it's important for us, and this unfortunately means that the court really robbed us of our right to control our bodies, our personal health decisions, our personal care, and it's giving it to the lawmakers and leaving us without access to safe and legal abortion. And there's no place for a politician to have any say in when and where, how a person wants to become a parent, if they choose to become a parent. And so it is very unfortunate this is where we're at. This is the reality that we're now facing.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to sort of bury the myth that Latinos oppose abortion access. I think as we talk about abortion access on the national level, Latinos are always talked about as sort of a group that has always fundamentally opposed abortion access. And like you said, we found that more than 2/3 of Latinos in key battleground states were in support of abortion care in most or all cases. Nearly 2/3 of Latinos are more motivated to vote in this election because of that as well. The Supreme Court's decision is outrageously out of step with American values. And like you said, the public opinion is on our side.
Yes, very much so. And so, we really have to continue to move towards fighting for protecting abortion rights, because we know that this is what our people need. We believe that people should have that autonomy right to be able to choose for themselves what's best for their bodies and their decisions for themselves and their families.
Absolutely. We've been hearing a lot about trigger laws. My understanding of trigger laws is that these are laws passed in states with the understanding that they wouldn't be enforceable as long as Roe protected the right to abortion. Now that Roe is overturned, does that mean that there are states where today access to abortion is curtailed or even outright banned?
Yeah, since the Supreme Court went ahead and overturned Roe, the landscape of abortion across the country is changing very rapidly. And I want to be clear that this is causing chaos and confusion, and it's being experienced by our patients, providers, health center staff, and the chaos and the confusion will only continue. And this is, at the end of the day, it's the cruel intention that the anti-abortion politicians wanted to see play out, and it's definitely happening. So right now, before Roe was overturned, well, we knew that there were 13 states that had trigger laws ready to go, which meant that once Roe was overturned, that shortly thereafter, either effective immediately or shortly thereafter, states can take steps to put those into effect. But as of right now, at least 9 states have banned abortions, and we do expect to see more coming in the days and weeks ahead. And so I do want to be clear about which are those 9 states, so folks know who they are at this moment. So I'll just say at this moment, because like I said, this could change tomorrow or even like in the next hour or so. This could change depending on the litigation and the work that Planned Parenthood and our partners are doing to fight this in the courts. So those 9 states are Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. I do want to do a little asterisk mark on Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas, because they're bans in general are bad overall, but these particular states, the bans in their states say it's up to after 6 weeks is when abortions are banned. So technically, and there is abortion is still available up to about 6 weeks of a person's of pregnancy. And so, but as you know, a lot of people don't know that they might be pregnant, within 4 to 6 weeks. And then there's a lot of barriers in those states as well to be able to be seen immediately. And it doesn't help when politicians are saying that the bans for abortion in those particular states are fully banned. And we know that that's false information, misinformation. And so we want to make sure folks have the right information. So we always want to send our patients, anyone seeking abortion, to a resource on the website that is abortionfinder.org. And that's where folks can find the latest information of abortion providers that near them. So I would definitely recommend that folks continue to, if they need access to abortion care, to go to abortionfinder.org to find a provider closest to them.
Abortionfinder.org. Thank you.
Yes.
So much. While there are states that have already begun to enforce these archaic laws, as you just mentioned, there are states who have not yet been triggered, and states that could be putting new laws into effect in the days and weeks to come. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, and just acknowledge that this is a resource for folks to continually check for up-to-date information as we move forward through and try to traverse this new way of life that we are all thrust into.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to share that that's the best place to find the latest information, or even our own website, because as I mentioned earlier, we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to file cases in states and courts to protect access, and so it'll continue to change. And so the abortion access map will look differently every day. And so we want to make sure people have the latest information. So that is the best resource to go to.
So we've talked a lot about what the overturning of Roe is and what the Dobbs decision is. Can we talk a little bit about what it isn't? It's not an outright ban on abortion nationally. It is not the overturning is just a way to put it to the states to make these decisions for women. And I just want to clarify any or misinformation that's going around so that people have the most up-to-date information in regards to what's going on at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you said, the Supreme Court has given that decision back to the politicians to take it at their state, to make decisions at their state. So that's why it is really important that we hold elected officials accountable in our respective states, because while it's not an outright ban nationwide, but we are very clear that the anti-abortion politicians have made it clear that their plan is to go after a national wide ban. And so we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so that is the worst case scenario. We thought we were already at the worst case scenario, but they really feel like this has really opened up the gates for them to be able to move forward with their national agenda. And they've been very clear about that right after the leak, right? Within hours of that happening in May, we learned that their strategy is to go after abortion access nationwide. And so this is not the end, right, of the anti-abortion movement. And they said it themselves. That is their goal. And so we need to make sure that we are making sure that we hold our politicians accountable and that we protect and support those politicians that are in support of ensuring abortion access as well, making sure that we can get people into elected positions that help protect abortion access.
Absolutely. And it's so important for folks to understand that now that Roe has been overturned, your local and state elected officials now have the power to enact these types of laws, and the effect of state and local politicians is heavier now more than ever. And getting out to vote in this election as we elect state houses and governors and secretaries of state in your states is more important now than ever. I just wanted to throw that in there because the conversation that we're having now is less about sort of the in the immediate, less about the national ban. While that is important and the logical next step for the anti-abortion movement, in the immediate, there are women across the country and people who can't get pregnant across the country who are feeling the effects of these bans today and who after November could feel the effects of new bans. So we want to really encourage folks to take part in their local elections and understand what governors and state houses can do with the overturning of Roe. I wanted to pivot a little and dig in for our audience, as we know from the history of these types of bans that it will have a heavier effect on Black, Brown, Indigenous, and other marginalized communities. Is there anything we can do to help protect or uplift our communities during this time?
Yeah, as you mentioned, like what we've already seen, what we're already learned from Texas SB 8 is that there is a ripple effect, not only creating barriers to accessing abortion within the state, but obviously to communities outside of the state, right? That they're, we've seen the impact it has on our undocumented folks as well. There are people who have the luxury, who have the resources to be able to travel outside of their state. And those are barriers that are being faced by folks. And so we really are, we're doing everything we can in order to get the best information out there, messaging information, accurate resources for folks to be able to have the information that they need in order to be able to access abortion care. We are expanding our in states where we have, well, I would say both, not just in states that are not threatened by the trigger bans or restriction bans, but also in those that we're extending our patient navigation program, which is modeled after our Promotores de Salud program. And so it's really about having people in our community be a part of that, right? Be a part of, become an educator. These are the folks that are leading, help facilitate the process. Sometimes the best person is someone who has already gone through this journey and has that experience that can be relatable and be able to uplift and support our community in the language as well that is feels most comfortable for them to be able to speak and engage in. We have a lot of programs and efforts that really want to make sure that we are uplifting our communities and reaching our communities. One of those programs I want to share with everyone is, I don't know if folks know, but we do have a chat text program, and then you can find it off our PlannedParenthood.org website. But we have our our bicultural, bilingual Chatea Textea program, which was created by young bilingual Latinx folks. It was created by them for them. And so I wanted to draw the attention, which you see on the screen, is that, if you want to talk to a health educator, whether it's in Espanol or Spanglish or English, they will respond to you, and you just have to text Ahora, AHORA, to 636. Just follow what's on the screen. That's the correct number. Yes. And so, it's really making sure that our gente have the resources and information, and that's, most important to them, and the language, and that they feel most comfortable communicating with, and folks that look like us, right? We want folks to be able to connect with folks that look like this. And so, it's to be honest, it's not an easy time. It's hard to find the good moments, but we need to celebrate the small wins that we do have. And as we were working to prepare for this moment, we also worked on this special project called Tone. And Tone is I would say volume 2, because volume 2 is it was designed by Latinx women, non-binary folks, to create a calm, positive atmosphere that allows them to make time for themselves, and to, do the essentials: breathe, relax, and to feel, to simply be. And Tone is a digital safe space where folks can find comfort through reflecting life, practicing positive affirmations, shifting those societal norms and expectations. And, it's a great way to jumpstart self-care if you haven't done that, because I have to be honest, I have, those last few weeks have not been the best. I have not been able to carve out as best the time to do the things that I do to care for myself, but also, it's also a way to support if you already have self-care practices, and to keep those going and keep you inspired and grounded in this moment. And Tone Volume 2 was created in collaboration with Refinery 29 Somos. And so it's available on Apple Podcasts, the Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. And I'll say that the Volume 1 was created for Black women and non-binary folks. And so all tracks were written by and music composed by those creatives and sound healers who are Black and Latino women. So it's really created for our folks to really focus on ourselves and move, find that inter-spiritual healing that we need as well, to be able to care for ourselves and care for our families.
Absolutely. That's incredible. And having access to tools that are made for us by us, it is so incredibly important, as we know, in navigating this space, especially the language piece of it. There are so many people who, growing up, were the only English speakers in their house, and having the ability to just be comfortable in language piece, and knowing that people are understanding where you're coming from is so important, especially in times where there is so much uncertainty. I see Martina on Facebook asked us to give her some helpful information for the folks in Texas. And I think that text message phone number that you gave out is probably a great resource for her. Is that correct?
Yes, that is a great resource for her as well. And of course, always feel free to reach out to your local affiliate, whether it's trying to seek information through our abortionfinder.org partner website that'll lead you to a provider, but even going to our own plannedparenthood.org website and identifying an affiliate in your area. Like I mentioned, our patient navigation program is available, and so folks can call to make an appointment, and you don't have to go in, right, to talk to a patient navigator. You can do that over the phone, and they're working hand in hand with other patient navigators across the country to help you find the best resources in order to get the care that you need, no matter where you're at.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I want to sort of wrap up the conversation a little bit and just talk about, this is a really scary time for folks. And there's a lot going on. There's going to be a lot of information that's coming at them, and a lot of disinformation coming from the folks who want us to be confused.
Mhm.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about both in the short term and the long term for women who live in states with bans. Is it still possible for them to receive care? And can you just outline how they can access that care?
Mhm. Yeah, and I keep mentioning abortionfinder.org, and so that is the best way to find someone local to them. And yes, women that live in states with bans can definitely still access care, but unfortunately, it means that they do need to leave their state, right? And so there are resources to help support women leave their states, and there are this national network of abortion funds. So that is a place where you can find resources to help support, navigate, um, you know, those financial resources to support access to abortion. It's different from each clinic and each state. And so it's really important to find, that clinic that's closest to you, that has availability to see you, to be able to work with them, to, you know, uh, well, one, first to see if they do have insurance, can the insurance cover it? And then second, if insurance is not available or doesn't cover it, then working with the clinic in partnership with the abortion fund to search the best funding that's a resource that they're eligible for in order to make it cover those costs. And so, unfortunately, it's not like it is a one-stop shop, but it's not like it's not universal. Like, not everything is like the same. And so each state and each clinic's a little bit different. And so that is, that's where the patient navigator comes in. And it's very important because to help support and navigate you through this process, because we know it's exactly what the anti-abortion politicians were hoping to create barriers to further create that further decrease access to abortion services.
Absolutely. They thrive when they are confused about these
Mhm.
things. We need to remain educated and pushing information that is timely and accurate. So
Mhm.
for the best information, follow the links that or go to the websites that we mentioned on this call. We will link out to those on votolatino.org as well. And we just want to ensure that everyone is up to date on all of these things. Is there a place on the internet that folks can find um, access to the travel funds, or how do folks access that or
Mhm.
know about those things? I know there's a lot of stuff online right now raising money for them. We have raised money for uh, some travel and care
Mhm.
places, but I guess what I'm asking is, where can folks go on to find these resources?
Mhm. Yeah, the best way to learn just in general more about abortion funds is actually that abortionfunds.org. That is the website. It lists all the, also it's another place, right, where the clinics are listed, as well as all the different organizations that do provide abortion funds. But it's really important that, you know, to work in partnership with the clinic that you want to go to get an abortion. But you can always start with the abortion funds first. And it's usually it's a national hotline where you can call. They won't answer, but you'll have to leave your information and someone will get back to you. It is all volunteer, so I do have to point that out. So it might not be immediate, right? Sometimes we want to talk to someone immediately, and so they won't respond. They won't pick up because it is all volunteer run. And so someone will return your call, but that's also why, contacting the actual clinic and working with our patient advocates is also very helpful. But yes, people can go directly to abortionfunds.org to learn more about how it works. They have a great frequently asked questions section, so folks can review that as well. And yeah, and it doesn't, these resources are available for anyone. And so it doesn't matter if you're documented or undocumented. And so that resource is there for everyone to be able to access.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Ziptaly, I just want to thank you for taking the time to have this incredibly timely and important conversation with us. We'll be working in partnership with Planned Parenthood to disperse new and relevant information as it comes out in relation to abortion care. We'll be linking to those sites from the votolatino.org site as well to ensure that our community has the most recent and up-to-date information. I also want to say to the folks out there who are scared and confused right now, we see you, we hear you. We're here to help fight every single day alongside Planned Parenthood, who's been an incredible partner for us. Go ahead.
No, say thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate your partnership. Appreciate you getting the information out there to our folks so they know what have accurate information. And you all have been amazing. And like you said, yes, we should have the power. We all should have the power to control our own bodies, our lives, our futures, and together we have the power, and we can stand up against abortion bans and reclaim our rights. So I invite everyone to continue to stand up for our rights. Join us this upcoming month, or actually now, today's July 1st. We're going to have a whole month of action. So I invite folks to go to bandsoff.org for more information. Check out our map. We have already over 300 events that are listed on that map, and there's more to come. So come out. We got to use our voice and use our unite to take and reclaim our power back.
Absolutely, and all of this action in concert with voting is the way that we do this. We show them that we are in the majority. They are, putting bans on the bodies of folks who can get pregnant, and we are against that. And we need to show them at the ballot box. So vote for and elect pro-choice leaders. And let's get this done in November. So thank you again, Ziptaly. This has been an incredible conversation with a lot of information. Again, we will link out to those sites on our website as well. And we thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. And again, if you have any questions or need anything, please feel free to reach out to your local affiliate of Planned Parenthood. And you can text the number, you can go to the websites. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks so much.
Thank you.